kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Met, and you haven't got me quite figured out yet. I guess I'll save you some time. I got more than just one side. These worn out boots and these scarred up knuckles are from too much fun and from too much trouble. I wouldn't blame you if you walked away, but I really hope you'll stay. Cause I got a wild side when I'm feeling just right. Hang on, cause it's gonna be a rough ride. Get the feelings that I just can't hide. When it comes out at the wrong time, I got a wild side, 10 feet tall and it's double wide. I get the feeling that you just might like to meet my wild side. Words, I put God and family first, but sometimes turning that other cheek, it's just too much for me. I know what you think you see when you're staring right through me. You might get a surprise, cause I've got another side. I got a wild side when I'm feeling just right. Hang on, cause it's gonna be a rough ride. Get the feelings that I just can't hide. When it comes out at the wrong time, cause I got a wild side, 10 feet tall and it's double wide. I get the feeling that you might like to meet my wild side. out boots and scarred up knuckles. I'm from too much fun and from too much trouble. I know we just met, and you haven't got me quite figured out yet. I guess I'll save you some time. I got more than just one side. These worn out boots and these scarred up knuckles are from too much fun and from too much trouble. I wouldn't blame you if you walked away, but I really hope you'll stay. Cause I got a wild side when I'm feeling just right. Hang on, cause it's gonna be a rough ride. Get the feelings that I just can't hide. When it comes out at the wrong time, I got a wild side, 10 feet tall and it's double wide. I get the feeling that you just might like to meet my wild side. I heard the preacher's words, I put God and family first, but sometimes turning that other cheek, it's just too much for me. I know what you think you see when you're staring right through me. You might get a surprise, cause I've got another side. I got a wild side when I'm feeling just right. Hang on, cause it's gonna be a rough ride. Get the feelings that I just can't hide. When it comes out at the wrong time, cause I got a wild side, 10 feet tall and it's double wide. I get the feeling that you might like to meet my wild side.
A quick one-stop last week at Iowa Speedway, but tonight we begin the round of 12 here in Joliet, Illinois. It is the Chicagoland Speedway and race number 1 in the round of 12 for the iSNF Cup Series. Good evening, everybody. My name is Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening. Alongside me, my broadcast partner, Liam Irving. And Liam, we saw a great race at Iowa last week. We're coming back to a bigger racetrack, 1.5 miles. Done with the short tracks for the year. It only gets bigger from here.
Yeah, I tell you what, I love me 1.5 miles. You got a lot of lanes you can run, and Chicago is going to be an absolute blast for all these guys. We've got an abrasive track surface. I don't think it's been repaved since it was put on the circuit in 2001. So these guys are going to have a lot of questions up ahead of them as they get towards the longer runs. But Frank, it's going to be an absolute blast to watch these guys get it done here. Over 30 cars ready to rock and rumble.
Absolutely. We'll take a look really quick at the point standings here for tonight's race. And coming in, you see the championship 12. Alex Arildsson, Angel Hernandez, Linus Broström, last week's winner, Charles Robertson, Danny Solo, Joshua Grosso, Jeff Weimer, Joey Maines, who is not here tonight. We'll tell you more about that in a moment. Brian Chu, Rhea Ferris, Chris Van Maastricht, and Cody McCorkle. Those are the 12 remaining. Christian Delgado, Michael Iskandar, Marcus Hagman, and Daniel Holmer are the drivers that are no longer participating in the race for the championship. So the 12 are set. We're going to see who advances into the round of 8 in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, and I believe that for Christian Delgado and Mike Iskandar, it was an issue of not starting the race last week, not being able to start it. So their playoff positions were vacated and given to the next drivers. So Chris Van Maastricht and I believe Chris Van Maastricht and Cody McCorkle were able to get up there and race effectively for points when they weren't knowing it.
Now, everybody in the championship battle is expected to be here tonight, except for, as I had mentioned, Joey Maines. Joey Burgee is in that number 42 car in his stay here tonight. So we'll see how that affects the championship a little bit later on. Also, a couple more moves that we have to discuss, as I've lost. There we go. There it is. A couple more moves that we have to discuss. Keanu Gomez should be here tonight in the number 4. Gary May is in the 50 tonight. Drew Hullman, all debutants, are here tonight for this race. Tristan Bailey is now going to be in the number 99 car full-time, with Emily Figrell moving to a part-time spot. We haven't seen her since we started broadcasting this series. She is here tonight in the number 91 car. Jared McCauley is going to be replacing Matty Moniak, who is still recovering from his injury, full-time until Moniak is set to go. And Dominik Sawicki will now be a full-time replacement in that car as Bobby Rafferty no longer in the series. So a couple of changes, a couple of moves here to keep you abreast on. Just a couple of races left here in this season as we jump into the qualifying session. First car out on track. Car number 45, that'll be Angel Hernandez.
Let's see what these guys can get rolling off here in qualifying. Like you said, a lot of switching around, a lot of moving around for these guys as they get ready for the next season. Philly season starting up a little bit early here.
Down here at the bottom of the racetrack for car number 45 here on this opening run. And for Angel Hernandez, he will go top of the charts. Dominik Sawicki now replaces him in that number 14. Very, very good run so far for Dominik Sawicki at a 30.53. Is coming out of 3 and 4. We'll see if he can take pole here tonight in just his second start in the series. No, he cannot. Angel Hernandez beats him out to 30.47. Here's Tristan Bailey, car number 99, fastest in practice. He'll be 4th fastest, at least for the moment, here in qualifying. James Vining circulating the racetrack. Car number 67, so far the slowest of the drivers that have taken qualifying. A bunch more cars out on track here in the final 2 minutes of this session.
Yeah, Frank, I hated having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, kind of figured.
So got to give this qualifying session to you. Try to work through it, but so far we are looking good. Top of the board is Dominik Sawicki, then Angel Hernandez, Alex Arildsson. How things changing up?
Yep, Tristan Bailey goes up to the top. Very good run there from Tristan Bailey. We'll see what Rhea Ferris can do here. 8th quickest at the moment. And Rhea cannot get better on her final lap. We'll see what Marcus Hagman can do. Now, Hagman was a driver of note last week. He was away at another commitment, said that he would be here once that was done to try to run for the championship, and unfortunately never showed up, surrendering that spot in the number 5. So Hagman here tonight, qualifying in P6 for the moment, is car number 5. Rosa Laszlo looking to complete his final lap here in qualifying.
Up to 6th place. I was about to say Jalen Battle up to 6th, but Rosa Laszlo getting past Jalen Battle just by a couple of thousandths there. That just goes to show how close these guys are in terms of lap time, in terms of talent here, as we've got less than 45 seconds left in the quali session.
Jalen Battle does have a couple of laps left to go here still in his qualifying session. On the final one now, is Battle. Not quite quick enough. About a half a second off on that last lap. Franz Brettschneider going up into the 10th position. We'll see what Battle can do here. Joshua Grosso as well, out on track, getting loose in that number 54 car. Up to 15th is Grosso, but coming to the line, here's Jalen Battle.
Last time around, can he get it done? Goes to the top of the board.
What a time in the death throes of the session. Jalen Battle takes the pole, and that is where he will start for tonight's race. We'll take a look at the grid. Jalen Battle with a time of 30.303 stuns Tristan Bailey off of the front row here tonight. Angel Hernandez and Cody McCorkle will make up row number 2. Dominik Sawicki and Alexander Arildsson in row number 3. Row 4 will go to Rosa Laszlo and Marcus Hagman. James Vining and Franz Brettschneider will make up row number 5. Linus Broström and Jeff Weimer in row 6. Row 7 will see Cal Gomez and Brian Chu. Joshua Grosso and Daniel Holmer will make up row 8. Row 9 will see Rhea Ferris and Chris Smith, with Gary May and Jarrett McCauley in row number 10. Charles Robertson and William Britton in row 11. Michael Iskandar and Daniel Solo in row 12. Joey Burgee and Jackson Carr will make up row number 13. Row 14 will see Eduardo Carapato and Chris Van Maastricht. Brian Treadwell and Shane Griffin will sit in row 15. Nathan Christensen and Casey Tomlinson in row 16. Bob Wyckoff and Emily Fagrell will round out the inside line, with one goofball by the name of Liam Ervig stuck in the mix as well. As take a look at the weather conditions here for today's race. We are just about 5 o'clock p.m. in sim time. 5-mile-an-hour winds blowing towards the west, which would mean a crosswind coming out of turn 2, pushing against the right of the cars, and a crosswind going out of turn 4, pushing towards the inside of the cars here tonight. 65-degree ambient temperature, 69-degree track temperature. It's going to be a cool and quick race here tonight.
Just 200 miles, 134 laps. You guys are in for a pretty quick show with these next-gen cars, but that doesn't mean it's going to be easy. These things will be slip-sliding around on this abrasive surface before you know it. Cooler temperatures will help out for a little while, but expect these guys to be trying for the long run here in terms of tire saving. Might see some comers and goers. And, well, I tell you what, that 43 car got himself up to the front. Jalen Battle. It'll be interesting to see if he can stay up there.
Absolutely. Daniel Solo, Daniel Holmer, Emily Fagrell, and Marcus Hagman have elected to pit start here tonight. Daniel Solo and Daniel Holmer have jumped into the pits. Fagrell and Hagman have not. So we will see what those two do here tonight before the start of this race. It is going to be a good one. It is going to be a fast one. 134 laps from the Chicagoland Speedway. Stage breaks will be at lap 40 and at lap 80. iRacing cautions the whole way since we are on a track larger than a mile. Liam, it is going to be a lot of fun here tonight, and they're rolling off a turn 4 to get it started.
Yeah, as the pace car gets ready to make that hard left turn, like you said, a quick one. 134 laps at 190 miles an hour. Jalen Battle's ready to lead him down over Tristan Bailey. Green flag is in the air, and we are racing here in the Windy City. Strong run on the inside lane. 3 cars formed together very well over the outside lane, who just has the 99 of Tristan Bailey. Put Jalen Battle out front with a big push out of Angel Hernandez coming up off of 2.
Seeing cars all over this racetrack, up, down, left, right. Doesn't seem to matter as Jalen Battle goes to the inside, taking that race lead, still maintaining that race lead, in the slide up in front of Tristan Bailey will guarantee that he has that race lead. As Bailey still fighting on that outside line, Angel Hernandez looking for a lane to go.
Already we're seeing two distinct lines being shown here. The 43 rocking the bottom that first lap. Not going too well for him as everybody goes up to the top side trying to brake train him around. He's got a little bit of help back there. But my question is, how much grip is going to be there on the outside lane? Obviously, these guys are running quick right now. But how much is it going to tear those tires up? And are we going to see them getting loose and falling back a little bit later on in this run?
Absolutely. If you're new to the series, we are in the playoffs. The round of 12 is where we sit currently right now. Here in Atlanta will be the round of 12 races coming up next week. Drivers running for the championship are highlighted in gold on the timing tower. Whoever wins this race next week in Atlanta will be highlighted in green, signifying that he has locked his way into the round of 8, as everything seems to be pretty content up towards the front, right up until we get to the corners, and then everyone's searching for every lane.
Every lane will be used. See side by side for third place right there. The 19 of Cody McCorkle in the playoffs to the inside of Dominik Sawicki, who is not in the playoffs right now. Sitting behind the 45 there, that's Angel Hernandez. Trying to figure out which lane around these cars is tough, especially when you come up out of the corner and you think you're going to get a run on a guy and you don't. When you can't use up all the racetrack, you're going to be a little frustrated. The 21 almost into the back bumper of the 77. That's Chris Smith and Rosa Laszlo coming through turn 2. And down the racetrack goes the 10 of Jared McCauley to make a move on the 2 of Jeff Weimer.
Jared McCauley making a big move on the outside, going through 1 and 2, and then to the inside in 3 and 4, going up a good 3 or 4 spots there was car number 10 as Chris Smith looking to the outside, trying to find a lane around. That's Brian Chu there in that Sports Clips number 11 machine. As Chu looking for a lane himself here, trying to move his way forward.
On the iSNF series, we try to stay as true to the paint schemes as we possibly can as to what ran at what specific track. But hey, we never ran at Chicagoland this year. Guys get a chance to show off what their favorite paint schemes of their drivers are, or what their teams are. That's why you're seeing some guys out here, and you see the Tron Cascade car, the Sports Clips 11, that Menards 21, of course the Morgan and Morgan 8, and everybody versus all in the 43. A lot of cool paint schemes showing up here today. These guys got a little bit more leeway with it. That's fun to see. 3 wide getting through turn 3.
One driver who's not had a good run of it here in the early goings in this race has been that number 8 car of Alexander Arildsson. He has been slipping a little bit further back than we would have thought in that Morgan & Morgan number 8 Chevrolet. Arildsson coming into tonight as your overall points leader. Only down 2 spots, but still
Caution is out.
Caution is out.
Like
the 50 of... Ooh.
Oh, that's a hefty impact there.
It's the 50
Gary May.
Yep. Looks like William Britton may have been involved in it as well, as you see how that car's giving a bit of an attitude.
That's yawed out like a 2006 Piston Sister.
Yeah, but the wrong way, unfortunately.
The wrong way, yeah, that's true.
Take a look and see what happened here with these two.
Britton's going to stay out, but yeah, let's take a quick look here.
Gary May.
Oh, the 6 must have had a problem up in front of him. You see some smoke.
There he is, and just...
Oh, wow!
Nowhere to go for the 50 of May.
Driver's side, too. That's a hefty impact. That's a tough one.
It's William Britton battling with the 42 of Joey Burgee.
Gets loose up on the inside. It's the apron. It overcorrects. Has himself a quick 360. Comes down in front of the 50 machine. Gary May.
Now, I'm sure the first thing a guy like Gary May would be yelling in that situation is lock the brakes, lock the brakes, lock the brakes. But he's trying to drive that car and keep it out of the wall. So he wasn't just letting it spin. He was trying to drive that thing.
Yeah, and I mean, he did an amazing job after the overcorrection to keep it off of the outside wall. That's a situation a lot of guys would get turned towards the outside wall, and we've seen even in the professional levels, you know, a guy like Ryan Truex has gotten sideways like that and gone head on into the wall. So, I mean, a great job by him to keep the car under control, but, you know, like you said, just a tough break, nowhere for the 50 car to go. Gary May was kind of an innocent bystander there.
It's hard to predict where one of these race cars will go once it's sliding and spinning. Proof in the pudding there from car number 50 of Gary May. Rhea Ferris gets the free pass here under this caution. As Rhea had mentioned to us before the race had started, she's still in the process of her move. Coming down with the flu, so Rhea's going to be a trooper here tonight, try to do what she can to keep her playoff hopes alive, and hopefully she'll be in better nick when Atlanta comes around next week.
Yeah, Atlanta's obviously a drafting style track. That's one that everybody thinks they can win, you know, and you know, Rhea's going to be no different coming there. But I really think that a 1.5 mile track like this, I know she's under the weather, but it could suit her style a bit. She can get up on the lead lap, get towards the front. She could definitely be a force to be reckoned with.
And it will be the new Atlanta Motor Speedway, the current version of Atlanta, not the old 2008 version, which is where we'll see the SCL Series crown a champion in a couple of weeks' time on Monday and Wednesday nights here on SRM.
I'll tell you what, Frank. New Atlanta is an amazing track to go to.
Yep.
I went there this year for the incredible duel between Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano. And to see them race clean at the end, I tell you, I was rooting for Brad, but I wasn't mad about the finish. That was a really awesome race and a super cool venue. They've really done a lot to make it more fan, whatever the word is, you know,
Fan friendly.
Fan friendly, yes.
The opposite of what Formula One has done with Las Vegas. But anyway.
Absolute opposite. I went in 2018 to Atlanta, and I went in 2022. And while I absolutely missed the racetrack that I saw in 2018, the experience in 2022 was or 23 was this year. I keep saying 2, but unbelievable. Getting ready for a restart, though.
Yeah, we will be going there next week to complete the round of 12. Then it will be Auto Club and Talladega, the round of 8, before we lock down the Championship 4 at Kentucky Speedway on the 16th of December. As we get set to go. Double file here. We know a lot of our series will be off because of Thanksgiving. Next week, this is not one of them. We will be here on the 25th, ready to bring you all of the action for the Georgia Peach 200, but we still have plenty of laps to go here in the Windy City 200. Green flag is back in the air. Tristan Bailey down and away as the race leader going into turn 1, and clearly down and away.
Yeah, he's got 2 car lengths of a lead already. Here comes the 14 and the 45 up to the top, trying to get some draft, trying to get some momentum. Cody McCorkle down to the bottom, got a little bit loose, comes up in front of Angel Hernandez. Now Hernandez goes with his Toyota teammate down the back straightaway.
Looked like a good battle between the 19 and the 45, but I was looking at how close the 14 almost got to the wall coming out of turn 2. Not going to help him as McCorkle gets out to P2 here. Highest running of the playoff drivers, Franz Brettschneider, also moving up quite nicely, plus 4 spots in that Auto Trader number 22.
I missed the bottom a little bit, had to work the middle, and it seems to be working. Big sideways
save.
Moment coming up out of 2. Gets that save done. Now the 43 of Jalen Battle looking to take one of his spots back after starting on pole. Now runs 6th place.
Tristan McCorkle looking to put the attack
Tristan
on car
versus
number 99.
McCorkle. I've got to correct you there.
Did I say McCorkle?
You said Tristan McCorkle. Sorry, Frank. We've got
my
Tristan
apologies.
and
My
I'm
apologies.
not one to sit here and correct. But we've got a pretty good battle for the lead.
I'm not one to sit here to correct, but I'll do it anyway as the caution comes out. It's like this might be a playoff driver. Yes, it is. It's Brian Chu, car number 11.
A little bit of front end damage.
Let's see what happened to the driver from Fort Myers, Florida. Right around that 4 car again. Oh, contact between the 5 and the 21.
Oh.
And again, innocent bystander.
And that is the tough thing when you're in the playoffs. You're racing against 30 other drivers that want nothing more than to just take a checker flag. Their season is essentially slowed down with the lack of championship.
That was horrific net code there between the 5 and the 21. So a lot of damage on the 21. Try to show you this replay again here. There is no contact whatsoever between the 5 and the 21 here. Watch, there's the contact there. That's...
The 5 doesn't have a scratch on it.
I couldn't imagine why he would.
That contact indicated as if he just drove right through him with no force against him. You know,
like I said,
horrible net code there.
There are net code incidents where it's okay, they were going to make contact anyway. That one didn't necessarily look like that was one of those cases.
No.
So a couple cars coming down pit road here under the second caution of the day. As one Mr. Gary May will take the wave around here. Car number 50 in a sub roll tonight. Making his series debut. Quite a race we have going here today already. And this is one of the great parts about this racetrack. Multiple grooves, and they're both working here. The inside line has its advantages, but the outside line is right now the one that's holding firm.
Yeah, these early cautions, they're not really doing any favors for the crews trying to figure out how these tires are wearing, especially with the outside runs. Only 40 laps in this stage, so we're approaching halfway through. Nobody's really come in for a pit stop or tires outside of Alex Arildsson and Jeff Weimer. They came in on that first caution. Also, Rosa Laszlo, Linus Broström, cars on beyond that.
It's last week's winner in the 3 and I was crisscrossed between two thoughts there. The 3 and the 8 both look identical. That was one of the thoughts, and the other one was last week's winner, Linus Broström, here in the 3.
The job done last week at Iowa. Fantastic show. Looking to keep that momentum going here.
Led 179 of the 242 laps last week in Newton, Iowa.
Yeah, even the overtimes wasn't enough to get him off his game.
Nope, it was not. And a couple of great games on the restart that he played, all legal, but games meaning lane choice to keep Joshua Grosso behind him and keep that 54 in a position where he couldn't get him on the restart after Grosso made a late pit stop. The 3 had to try to hold on and did a masterful job on those restarts with the lane choice that he had and the lane choice that he was gifted from being in the lead. As Tristan Bailey right now currently in control here in his new ride, car number 99.
Yeah, looking good so far. Out front, led every lap, just about every lap so far. Jalen Battle led the first one, but from there on out, it has been the GoPro show out of the Trackhouse 99.
woman that he is replacing in that car, Emily Fagrell, did not start this race. She is now running in a part-time role. She was the primary driver for this car, but she's now in a part-time role in the 91. She was here. She did turn a couple practice laps, but did not get a qualifying lap in and did not start this race as of yet. As we get set to go, green flag racing here. Back to green. Off and away goes car number 99.
A little bit better restart out of the car behind this time. Third place, able to move up into second. That's Adrian Hernandez. Cody McCorkle with the 14 all over him, but not much for side-by-side up to the top 5. These guys all try to figure out which lane is going to work best on the restarts. Excellent practice as now Hernandez moves down to the inside for the race lead.
A couple of guys 3 wide there in the back. Jalen Battle was in the middle of it in the 43. As Hernandez trying to use that inside line, get out in front of Bailey. Couldn't quite do it, but it's going to have a great chance here, being as close as he is on the inside line.
Side lane has been so dominant throughout the course of the day. The 45 is going to have to check up a little bit. I think the 99 did as well, as we've got a gaggle of cars here back around the top 10 spots.
It's Linus Broström moving his way up through the field. Rosa Laszlo, Brett Schneider, as the caution's going to come out again here. Shane Griffin out of Cincinnati, Ohio in the 34 for Front Row Racing, Front Row Motorsports. Started a little bit before this.
Doesn't look like there's too much damage on that car either. Maybe a little bit on the right side.
There's Daniel Solo getting loose coming out of 2. Back on the racetrack, so it doesn't look like, it doesn't look like he was a part of whatever happened with the 34. Let's see what happened with Griffin here. Ooh, looked like
contact.
Almost looked like he got hooked by that 21.
That's a weird spot down the back straightaway.
Yep. Another group of cars deciding to come down pit road here this time, led by Joey Burgee. Marcus Hagman, who had some contact there, legitimate contact this time. Chu, Gomez, Solo, Van Maastricht coming down pit road yet again. Guys just filling up with fuel. Dathan Christensen also in the 15. He's down pit road. A couple of guys in unique positions from where they would have started the race from. Charles Robertson, see currently running in the 33rd position, about 4 laps down. Last week, after the race at Iowa, he was issued an L2 drive-through penalty for overly aggressive driving in the closing 30 laps of the race, resulting in multiple cautions. Christian Delgado suffered the same penalty. Rhea Ferris also got a drive-through penalty for failure to yield to an oncoming pack after a wreck or a spin. So that's why Rhea and Robertson are both multiple laps down here to start this race. William Britton laps down because of damage to that number 6 Castrol GTX machine. One fast repair on offer for these drivers here tonight, so he was able to get that number 6 fixed. Same thing with the 50 of Gary May, who as of right now appear to be the only 2 drivers that have taken said fast repair.
And not something you want to use up in this first stage, but unfortunately for a guy like William Britton, you don't really have much of a choice. So you just got to try to keep your nose a little bit cleaner throughout the course of the end of this thing. And, of course, a lot of these guys are going to be able to get through without using it. Britain's just gotta hope he's one of those guys now. And gals.
So for the restart here, it'll be Tristan Bailey, Angel Hernandez, Cody McCorkle, Dominik Sawicki, and Joshua Grosso. That'll be your top 5. James Vining, Jalen Battle, Jeff Weimer, Linus Broström, and Rosa Laszlo will complete the top 10. And the first 5 rows here on the restart. Tristan Bailey, it's interesting. I understand why he's doing it. He's getting the shorter run going into turn 1, but for a guy who's been so dominant and so content to work the outside line, to continue to use that inside line on the restart, like I said, I get it, it's the clean line, but you would think for a driver who wants to run the outside line that starting on the outside would probably be the more effective lane for him.
Well, Frank, I'll counter that and say if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
True.
Nobody's been able to match him on restarts so far, so why not take that shorter line? Take that smaller distance, get on the gas, get a straight line. If you're going to clear the guy, you may as well cut the distance. Clear the guy up in second, you get up to the top, you run the lane that you want. It's worked out for him so far. I don't see him changing it unless he gets beat up on that top side.
It's not like he's had to fight too hard to get up to that outside once he's been on a restart. There he goes again. And once again, he will not have to fight as he is clear and away from Angel Hernandez and Cody McCorkle. Middle of the pack is once again going 3 wide.
Mexicar looking down to the inside of the 22 of Franz Brettschneider. Jeff Weimer. Oh, contact up into Jeff Weimer. Goes Brettschneider. Everybody keeps it straight. No. Brettschneider down hard into the inside wall. Keep an eye out for the caution. Big
Now
crash in turn 3. There's the caution flag. And there is a lot to unpack there. As we were watching on the battle with Jackson Carr, looked like as the Penske car shifted a bump into the back of the 22, got him sent up into the 2. Let's take a look at this replay, though, to find out.
Yeah, that was a wreck that that was a wreck that we saw coming that took a while to come out. As take a look and see what happened with Brettschneider. Oh, here he is off the inside here.
Go for the restart.
Yeah, and then once you get the good old screen glitch, that's when you know. It's already off again here. Let's go a little further back. Third time lucky on the replay. Yep, here we go. It's the 13. Jackson Carr there on the bottom.
Oh,
Just
the
got
22
loose.
got a little loose coming up off of the corner. Jeff Weimer, I believe, is, yeah.
Oh, the 42's there as well. 50 gets some more damage. Christensen weaves his way through that. Great job by him. So on board here with Joey Burgee here in car number 42.
It's just puts there that the crash is happening.
There it is.
Seeing exactly what the driver does.
He led off and was trying, realized he was going a little bit too quick, tried to let off to not run over the back of whoever was in front of him and ended up spinning himself.
Up break, we're under our 4th caution of the day before lap 30, this time involving multiple drivers. Going to have to get some repairs done, maybe take that fastie that we talked about a little bit earlier. Not the way that you want to start this race, as we still have just over 100 laps to go and about 12 laps to go in stage number 1 as they cross the line.
And for Brettschneider, took the wildest ride, and I think he got the least amount of damage out of it. There's the number 9 of Daniel Holmer. who is running the, what was it, the 2021 All-Star race car that Elliott had?
It's either 2020 or 2021, but yeah, the old push the numbers to the back, get the neon on the back of the cars.
Yeah, the year they were at Bristol.
Just trying to remember it. I think they did Texas 2 years. Might have just been the one though.
Now I'm going to have to look it up. Thanks, Liam. God.
You're welcome. That's why we have our radio pundit, Frank Marchese, to make sure that we spit nothing but facts.
No, it's not even that. It's going to annoy me until I figure it out. That's the problem.
He does it for his own personal gain, but
exactly.
We spit nothing but facts. 2022 was the next-gen car. That's when Ross went up into the air. Is that the same year that Ryan Whitney lost the window net?
I believe so. No, the year he lost the window net was last year.
No, you know what? I think you're right. 2021 at Bristol. That was the big talk, was moving the car numbers, and then they did it the following year. Well, Frank gets that figured out. We're doubled up for a restart. Tristan Bailey over Angel Hernandez, Cody McCorkle, Joshua Grosso, and Jalen Battle. Up in the top 5, Linus Broström, Dominik Sawicki, Jackson Carr, James Vining, and Brian Treadwell. Round out the top 10, Rosa Laszlo, Chris Smith, Jared McCauley, Alex Arildsson, Casey Tomlinson, Michael Iskandar, Bob Wyckoff, Marcus Hagman, Brian Chu, Shane Griffin, Eduardo Carapto, Joey Berge, Danny Solo, Franz Brett Schneider, Jeff Weimer, Nathan Christensen, and Gary May in 27th rounds out the cars that are still on the lead lap. 27 cars still on the lead lap. Daniel Holmer, Christian Van Maastricht, William Britton, drivers who have some damage, who have gone down a lap getting that repaired. Rhea Ferris a couple laps down as well, as the pace car gets ready to make that hard left turn once again.
Liam, you were right. It was the 2020 All-Star race as the green flag gets set to come out. Just 10 laps to go here in the first stage. As Hernandez...
the best we've seen anybody up on the top side. Staying side by side. Still got the nose there up on the quarter. 99 might have got a little bit loose, but he does not have the line he wants getting down into turns 3 and 4. Let's see how this goes as they race for the stage win, potentially.
See, and this is what I was talking about. If you're running the outside
Bailey
line,
the racetrack.
Boy, big slide out of the 99.
And here comes Grosso trying to use all the momentum he can as these guys are side by side, punching a huge hole and slowing each other down. 99 on the inside, gonna be able to clear the 45 of Hernandez coming up off of 2, but here comes the crossover.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. Start in the lane you want to run. As Hernandez had Bailey pinched, unfortunately was not able to keep the momentum up on that high side to be able to make the move work, as Bailey will retain the race lead. Look at Dominik Sawicki battling side by side with Cody McCorkle. That's for 4th.
Sawicki up on the top side, trying to utilize all that momentum, but Cody McCorkle slides up the racetrack with a car length of an advantage. Was looking to get down to the inside of Grosso. Wasn't quite able to, so that gave the advantage back to the 14. So as we move back up front, Tristan Bailey, he's been the dominant car all day so far. Just a couple of laps, 7 laps left to claim stage number 1 from the 45 of Angel Hernandez. Change anything about that.
Cody McCorkle down low. Jackson Carr in the 13 also down low. Carr plus 20 from where he started the day. Linus Broström also moving up. Brian Treadwell in the 47. Look at that Kraft mac and cheese car, that blue and yellow car. He's up 18 from where he started, now running in 11th. So a couple of big movers here early on in this race.
Grosso looking to the inside. One thing I want to note here, it doesn't look like the 99 exits turn 2 very well. Uses up the racetrack. Whoa, big loose moment there out of Andrew Hernandez, and Grosso's going to get around him.
Grosso gets
big scuffling, trying to get around the loose car, the slow car. Sorry, Frank.
Grosso gets through. Jackson Carr going from the outside to the inside. A big puff of smoke there as well, as Grosso is now going to lose out on second spot to Sawicki. Jackson Carr follows through.
3 wide now with Jalen Battle on the bottom. Linus in the middle and Grosso up on the top side. Here comes Hernandez trying to keep it a 3 wide battle up on the top with help from Cody McCorkle. 3 Toyotas up top, 2 Chevys in the middle and the bottom.
Stage points to be handed out in 4 laps time. Once we hit the line, as, boy, look at that 19 of Cody McCorkle, hold it on the outside. Broström cuts off the 43 of Battle to take that position.
I tell you what, I thought he was going to turn himself off the front bumper of Battle as we jump back up for the second place.
Jackson Carr, Dominik Sawicki, 3 non-playoff drivers up in the top 3 positions right now. Angel Hernandez running right on that wall.
Oh, Oracle, big time lose. Gets it gathered up and loses 1, maybe 2 positions. But that's not a save a lot of drivers can make as Linus Broström tries to go up and cut off the 19. Uses up as much racetrack as he needs to. Uses up almost to the wall. Now he's got McCorkle and Battle stuck behind him here. Linus using up everything he can to try to keep these guys behind him. McCorkle on fresher tires than Broström is.
What a job.
Vice versa.
What a job by both Broström and McCorkle there. McCorkle tried to sneak onto that outside line. Couldn't quite get there, and Broström cleanly but fairly shut the door. As McCorkle getting very loose again as Tristan Bailey out in front here as we come to the end of the first stage. Jackson Carr and Dominik Sawicki battling side by side. Carr gets the spot.
I believe we've got 1 lap to go in the stage.
Yes, we do. This is nope. Stage break is coming up now. Tristan Bailey wins stage 1. What a great race we saw.
Dominik Sawicki saw, not that it matters, but he saw a point go away in the last quarter. What a job by the 13 of Jackson Carr to make that slide job work. Contact was made coming up off of turn 4. That was an incredible battle, an incredible first stage, marred by a couple of cautions, but through and through, insane racing we got to see, Frank.
Tristan Bailey, Jackson Carr, Dominik Sawicki, Joshua Grosso, Angel Hernandez, Linus Broström, Cody McCorkle, Jalen Battle, James Vining, and Rosa Laszlo all get points here in the first stage. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back to Chicagoland Speedway in Joliet, Illinois in just a moment. Windy City 200 here at the Chicagoland Speedway in Joliet, Illinois. Stage 1 is done and dusted. Tristan Bailey takes the top spot in the stage. The top 3 were all non-playoff drivers, and the top 3 right now are all non-playoff drivers. Franz Bretschneider, Daniel Holmer, and Brian Chu. Pardon me, Brian Chu is a playoff driver, my bad. Did not pit under this caution. Brian Chu did. He just took fuel only. Holmer and Bretschneider came into pit on lap 28 and 27 respectively as they get set to get this race back going. Daniel Holmer into the restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. We're racing here in stage number 2 at Chicagoland.
Again, a strong restart from the inside, but we're 3 wide for second place. Here comes Jackson Carr down to the bottom. Tristan Bailey getting stuck behind the 22 of Brett Schneider. That's not going to help him.
Not for long.
Oh, big crash. Huge crash down the back straightaway. 10 cars involved. It's at least 5 up on the racetrack, and I saw 2 get turned down, so that's 7. Might have been over-exaggerating with 10, but up in front of the field. A lot of cars getting turned sideways and making contact. Bring out the caution on the first lap of stage number 2.
Cody McCorkle getting damaged. Playoff driver Franz Bretschneider, who got turned. Daniel Solo, playoff driver. Rosa Laszlo caught a big piece of it. What a mess to open up stage number 2 here at Chicagoland, and we will take a look here in just a moment.
I wonder if Tristan Bailey maybe got into the back of that 22 there. We saw him get stuck up behind him coming through turns 1 and 2. Then the 22 was sideways. Not sure if that was due to the 22's older tires. Take a look-see here.
It's from the restart. Brett Schneider does not get the greatest of starts. Bailey following very closely behind. Brett Schneider obviously racing for his position because why not? You're in a race, may as well.
Got the 3 wide. Grosso gets down to the bottom.
There's contact there. One bit of contact. Another shove right across the nose of Linus Broström. And then from there, it just completely dissolves. 4 playoff drivers from my count getting involved in this.
Looks like a total of 7 cars caught up in that accident. Like you said, 4 playoff drivers with some damage to deal with here. Not the way you want to start stage 2, but keep in mind you do have that fast repair, and this is exactly what those situations are for.
On board Daniel Solo. Try to muscle his way through it, but with Laszlo coming up, that honestly, Rosa Laszlo coming up may have saved him a penalty for ARCA braking, because if whatever car clipped him would have missed him, he would have went right into the front of Laszlo. Well, right into the side of Laszlo.
You know what they say, it's only ARCA braking if it doesn't work, but
true.
When the caution comes out, you're not going to be able to gain those spots anyways, so you might be right there. Might have been saved. Daniel Holmer holds out of the race lead over Jackson Carr, Brian Chu, Grosso, and Bailey in the top 5 still.
From what we could tell, Franz Bretschneider, Jeff Weimer, Rosa Laszlo, Linus Broström, William Britton, Marcus Hagman, Daniel Solo, Cody McCorkle, Jared McCauley, and of course Tristan Bailey, who triggered it, all involved in that incident. So, Liam, you may have thought you were over-exaggerating, but you were bang on. 10 cars, a third of the field, involved in that incident.
Yeah, that might be the big one of the day. I'm not totally sure if you can call Tristan Bailey involved. I know he kind of lit the fuse, so to say, but didn't get caught up in it. And we saw I believe, 7 drivers that got spun around with significant contact, and that in itself is huge for a 30-some car field.
So it will be Daniel Holmer pacing on the restart here again. Jackson Carr, who has been up 24 positions from where he started. Currently up in the second position, first car on fresh tires. Brian Chu, who only took fuel under the stage break, running in third. Joshua Grosso on fresh tires, the rest of the field on fresh tires as well, up in fourth. So a solid little run that these guys are putting together here. Jackson Carr, who took it 3 wide on that restart, might have the biggest advantage of the lot at the moment.
Certainly might. I don't think Daniel Holmer can make it to the end of the stage without a caution flag pit stop or something like that. But pace car's getting ready to make that hard left turn. Daniel Holmer is in the driver's seat, ready to rock and rumble as he gets up into the zone here. How early does he go? He goes about midpoint, but he still gets a strong restart as they're side by side for second place. Jackson Carr on the outside of Brian Chu, who we saw turned around earlier, making a strong recovery with Tristan Bailey right behind him. Bailey has to check up a little bit as the outside is where it's at.
Bailey got loose coming off at turn 2 as well. Almost got run over by the 42 as Jackson Carr takes that momentum off the outside line and the fresher tires to take the lead. Now Holmer's about to get swallowed up.
That swallowed up is right. He's 4 wide with Tristan Bailey going all the way down to the bottom, trying to take away second place. Big slide down on the bottom.
They're 5 wide.
Between the 11 and the 9 is going to send the 9 sideways. Still sideways is Tristan Bailey. Around goes Bailey up front. Big contact coming up off of turn 2. Going to send the 9 of Solo and the 21 of, looks like Chris Smith, into the outside wall.
Feels like everybody got a part of that one in some way, shape, or form, as they were 5 wide going into turn 1.
Was insane.
And lost in all that was all the beating and banging, as there's Tristan Bailey.
Be heavy damage for the dominant car in stage 1.
But he did a lot of beating and banging all the way through turns 1 and 2 with the 42 of Joey Burgee. Both of those cars just trying to stay straight.
Bailey's trying to stay on the lead lap here. He's got that fast repair left. He wants to catch up to the field so he can come in, take 4 tires, remain on the lead lap rather, get on that fast repair, and then try to work his way through the field. He's still going to have about 85 laps to do it, 84, but big time problems for a lot of these drivers. Let's give you guys a look at what happened here.
What do you say about this? Great move from Bailey. See, and they're 5 wide, just about 5 wide there. The 9 and the 11 are making contact, but look at how much the 42 and the 99 are beating and banging off of each other. And then the 9 of Holmer, the 21, like I said, almost everyone gets in this. Shane Griffin gets involved. See how Chris Smith gets in this. Again, we'll stay above so you can see as much as you can. Which is the 9, nowhere to go. There's the 1 in it. 78 of Wyckoff. There's the 7. 6, 34. I mean, there was enough to say that there was an incident there.
Yeah, I mean, it might not have been the amount of cars spun that we saw on the previous restart there, but that was definitely another big one here that damaged a lot of cars. And Tristan Bailey, the biggest victim there, or bystander, whatever you want to call it. He was going for it. He made the move all the way down to the grass on the front straightaway. Got side by side, or got on the inside of 5 wide, I should say. And he was loose that whole time. He had a big slide down the apron on the front stretch, and continued to slide through turns 1 and 2. And the contact between Chu and Solo happened. And
so from what we could see, Jalen Battle also went off there at some point. Michael Iskandar, Chris Smith, Daniel Holmer, Brian Chu, William Britton, Linus Broström, Rhea Ferris, Bob Wyckoff, Shane Griffin, Rosa Laszlo, boy, look at William. Jeez, again, it's almost a shorter list to who wasn't involved in that.
yeah, like you said, everybody got a piece.
Rosa Laszlo and Gary May appear to be done, as well as Chris Smith and William Britton.
Yeah,
Charles
May, Smith, Britton, drivers that we saw get damaged early on in the race.
Let's see here. Pardon me, looking through for a note here. Cal Gomez in the number 4, replacing Christian Delgado here for this race. He has been out since lap 25. Britton, Smith, May, Laszlo are now out. Daniel Holmer's on pit road. There's Charles Robertson, still multiple laps down. Daniel Holmer's coming out of pit road now. Boy, he's going to be a big loser in this.
Rhea Ferris, though, back on the lead lap here, up in 18th place, utilizing this attrition, utilizing all these cautions as we get ready for the restart. Going to be Jackson Carr over Joshua Grosso as the pace car gets ready once again to make that hard left turn that we all wait for as race fans. Getting ready to get into the Geico restart zone. About halfway through once again is when Jackson Carr decides to go, and he's got about 2 car lengths on the inside car of Angel Hernandez. Joshua Grosso able to stay about half a car length up in front of that machine, but that 13 of Jackson Carr gets out front strong. Here comes Hernandez on the inside. Little bit slower exit there out of the 13 of Carr, and now we've got a big-time 3-wide battle for the race lead, just about.
3 wide
Grosso.
up. We got 3 wide up at front, 3 wide in the middle of the field. Joshua Grosso on that outside line. Sawicki and Burgee there as well. To the middle of the field, there is the 8 of Alexander Arildsson. 67's there, as is the 43. I mean, it's not calmed down at all. Big slide out of Cody McCorkle in the 19. Still 3 and 4 wide.
Inside. 4 wide right there, and Tristan Bailey is working his way through, already up into 13th place after taking hefty damage. The 24 gets up into the wall. That's Danny Solo. Going to be able to continue on.
Solo up a couple of spots from where he restarted in 22nd, as Angel Hernandez to the inside of 3 wide. This is at the back of the front group. Hernandez gets loose, as does the 8 of Alex Arildsson behind him, trying to keep his number 8 car out of the wall.
Cars are so tough to save, especially when you're going as fast as these guys are. Looking at the speeds. Oh, up into the wall goes the 47 of Brian Treadwell.
And the caution comes out.
Yeah, Casey Tomlinson and Jared McCauley have had an incident coming up off of turn number 4, and that's a lot of damage. Cody McCorkle involved as well.
There's Jared McCauley. It's Cody McCorkle through the grass. That's heavy damage on that 19.
That's terminal. If he hasn't used his fast repair, he needs to now, and if he has, probably going to be game over for him for this race.
If he has used a fast repair, he will be the first playoff driver to retire from this race. Let's take a look and see what happened here between Casey Tomlinson and Jared McCauley. 19. Oh, 10 comes down across the 19. And wow, that's a hard hit.
Corco with a wild ride, multiple flips into the catch fence. Thank goodness this is a sim.
What a shot and a half Cody McCorkle took on that. It's right on board with him. 10 just cuts down across the front of him, gets shoved by the 78, and barrel roll, flip and a quarter. And I think we understand how he got as much damage on that car as he did now.
I am absolutely shocked that he can still drive it. He's still got RPMs in that.
See Bob Wyckoff just too close
I think the
to
10
be able
got
to
loose
react.
when he came out.
Yeah.
I don't think it was an intentional cutoff there. I think it was loose and just coming down the racetrack.
Probably was. I mean, we've seen so many cars loose here during just this stage of action alone. And good news for car number 19, still had the fast repair. And
Sure.
he will stay on the lead lap.
An incredible turn of events for him to be turned over and still be able to drive it away. Not only drive it away, but stay on the lead lap, get that fast repair done. We're approaching the halfway point here, though, and, well, we're starting to lose some cars.
Yeah, as one would tend to do with as many wrecks as we have had here this afternoon.
Just about halfway, just past halfway through stage number 2. Then we've got a 54 lap run to the finish. Should be about 50 or 49 once we get the green. And I believe that should mean one pit stop in the final stage is required with a 60% fuel load.
We're now halfway through this second stage. Second stage caution will come out at lap 80. So we are guaranteed at least one more caution here in this race. There's Jackson Carr, Joshua Grosso, Dominik Sawicki, Joey Berge, and Angel Hernandez, your current top 5. And with what we heard, if you saw the dev diary that iRacing put out earlier today, it's only going to get more and more tricky here as part of the iRacing has planned a huge revamp for oval racing, including aero model, tire model, and condition model. From what the dev diary said, it's not finished, but the parts of it that are finished are going to get implemented into the December 2023 update to go into 2024 Season 1, which include an improvement on multi-groove racing, meaning that, quote, you're going to have to search for grip as lines will, quote, get hot and cold throughout the race. So adding that element into these oval races are sure going to make this even more difficult than it already is.
Yeah, we've got some of the best sim racers that can do this thing, ready to rock and rumble. The pace cars made that hard left turn once again. You see Brian Chute kind of pointing towards the middle. Green flag is out, though. This time, Jackson waited till the end as Joshua Grosso kind of gets gotten there. 14, able to get side by side for second. Side by side for fourth as well is Angel Hernandez as he follows through the 14 machine with Dominik Sawicki.
Contact in the middle. Brian Treadwell going around.
Wasn't as big as I thought with what we've seen on restarts here. Good job for only having 2 drivers involved in that crash, but Brian Treadwell is not going to be thinking good job for that.
Battling right around Eduardo Carapado in the 16. See what happened with car number 47 here. Blocks off Linus Broström and gets in front of him. Round he goes.
Doesn't take that back.
So with that, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You are watching the Windy City 200 here from Chicagoland. Jackson Carr currently in control as we inch closer towards halfway. About to take the restart here off of our 9th caution here of this afternoon. We'll take the green flag here at halfway. Jackson Carr and Dominik Sawicki currently 1 and 2. Joshua Grosso and Angel Hernandez 3 and 4. Another great start from Jackson Carr gets him out in front of Sawicki. 13 laps to go until the end of the stage.
3 wide already for third place. Angel Hernandez gets a little bit loose, gets out of that. He's going to fall back to the 42 car, but here comes the 8 of Alex Arildsson getting ready to get behind him. Big push up on the top side. The 14, however, has fallen off a considerable amount from your race leader.
Tristan Bailey. Go ahead.
Going to say Joshua Grosso moving down to the inside of Sawicki. Got him confused with Joey Burgee for a moment.
There is Burgee in the 42. 45 into the wall, pushing a little bit too hard coming off of turn 2. So Angel Hernandez will lose a couple of spots. He'll get passed up by Alex Arildsson and Tristan Bailey as Jackson Carr leading the way.
Bailey taking no prisoners, already up to the 6th position after getting involved in a crash, some hefty damage, and using that fast repair. All the way back up, racing for a top 5 spot. Here comes Jackson Carr, though, all the way up to the top of the racetrack, utilizing that bottom lane. Meanwhile, the car behind him, Dominik Sawicki, using the top side, completely opposite lanes. You get the inside, you get the run on the inside on entry, but coming up off of the corner, you've got so much more speed, so much more momentum, and that shows a whole lot coming up off of turn number 2.
Alex Arildsson in that 8 also now starting to put some pressure on Joey Burgee. 10 laps to go here in the stage as Jackson Carr got really loose.
Bailey was looking to the top side of Arildsson. He's up there, and here comes the 14 of Sawicki down to the bottom in turns 3 and 4. Going to try to slide up and take the lead.
Jackson Carr threw a big block. He got big time loose coming out of turn 2. Threw a block going into 3. Sawicki stuck with the move, and that will get him the lap led. As Carr trying to hold up on that outside line. Now Sawicki gets loose on the bottom.
Yeah, I think if Sawicki was able to, I think he was able to clear himself over the 13 coming out of turn number 4. But the momentum on the top side just brought the 13 right back. That loose moment in turns 1 and 2 lost all that momentum, and now he's got to worry about his tires for a little while. As Tristan Bailey moves out of the inside looking for 4th place. Your stage 1 winner, the Dominik Carr, the first half of this race, looking for more.
Tristan Bailey just about figured out one of the big things in this racetrack when you're trying to cut that dog leg there, or when you're trying to cut the D part of the oval at the start-finish line. If you're going to cut it, you either fully cut it or don't cut it at all. You don't go half and half as Joey Burgee.
Going to go hard into the inside wall. No caution's going to come out for this. It's upside down goes the 42. No caution because he's off the racing surface, but a hefty impact for the driver running up in the top 5. That puts Joshua Grosso in 2nd place. Tristan Bailey gets up to 3rd. Arildsson in 4th, and Dominik Sawicki up to 5th. We'll take a look on that in just a few moments here. But this train of cars racing for 2nd. They are on fire.
Look completely self-inflicted there. Got a little bit loose coming out of turn 4. May have overcorrected a little bit. Did Joey Burgee move Joshua Grosso now up into 2nd. Tristan Bailey. Alex Arildsson right there as well. The 2nd of those 2 cars. There is Linus Broström running in 12th. He's well off the back of this group. What I would say would be a 12-car pack up here racing for the race for the stage win as Grosso and Bailey go side by side.
Bailey up at the top side. That's where we've seen him strong all race long. Going to be tough to keep him at bay, especially if you're not getting up to side drafts there. Now Joey Grosso falls back to 3rd place. Tristan Bailey up into 2nd. 4 laps to go this time. 3 laps to go, rather. Can he get up and take the 2nd stage away from your race leader, Jackson Carr?
Bailey, winner of the 1st stage, has not had things go his way here in the 2nd stage. Jalen Battle, pole sitter here tonight, starting to work his way back forward, looking to the inside of Dominik Sawicki. This is for 5th. That inside line has not looked stable for these drivers at all here in this race.
No, it's been tough to get a hold of it. These guys are quick to the throttle, and we're seeing them struggle on the inside because of it. A lot of aggression there. Close moment. There's Angel Hernandez now trying to figure out which one of these guys is going to move quicker.
Sawicki got a little bit loose on the outside of turn 4 there, as Hernandez is trying to find somewhere where he can get a run and get a pass, but balcony's closed at the moment.
Arildsson trying to figure out a way around Joshua Grosso for 3rd place. He seems to be the quicker car, but here comes Sawicki up at the top side.
Sawicki got a great run there coming out of turn 4, clears Jalen Battle, now gets to the outside and actually clears Alex Arildsson going into turn 1. Dominik Sawicki, 2 starts here in the iSNF Cup Series, and boy, he's made an impression.
Run coming up off of 2. He sticks to the outside. Arildsson to the bottom. Grosso to the middle. The lap car on the bottom side going to play a factor here. Here comes Sawicki up on the top side. Trying to take 3rd place away. He got his nose up there. He slowed Grosso up enough. Can Arildsson get to the middle?
He will not, as that will be the stage caution. Jackson Carr takes stage number 2 in that Kaulig Racing number 13. Great job from Carr to get out ahead and keep Tristan Bailey at bay. We'll take a quick break. Be right back for the start of stage number 3 here at Chicago.
Final stage getting ready to go here. Jackson Carr on the inside, Tristan Bailey on the outside of row number 1. Alex Arildsson, Dominik Sawicki, and Jalen Battle round out your top 5. Angel Hernandez, Marcus Hagman, Brian Chu, Danny Solo, and Jeff Weimer round out the top 10. We've got just about 50 laps of racing to go here as the pace car is ready to make that hard left turn into the Geico restart zone once again. And early on goes Jackson Carr. He's going to have about 2 car lengths as Arildsson tries to hold on to second, side by side with Tristan Bailey. But Bailey with a big push from the 14 of Sawicki. Run on the inside for the 8 machine of Alex Arildsson. He's going to get clear for second place. And contact from Tristan Bailey. He has not been shy of using that front bumper at all today. We can call it a frumper if we want to, but we're 3 wide for third place.
Yeah, that's what Alexander Arildsson just did there is called clearing yourself off the front bumper of Tristan Bailey. Bailey will hold on to third. Sawicki will hold on to fourth, but only for the moment is Jalen Battle working that inside line, currently running in fifth, with Angel Hernandez on the high side trying to use that momentum to take the spot.
Car of Hagman looked to make it 3 wide there. Nothing doing for him. And sideways is the 45 of Angel Hernandez. Big moment there. He's able to continue on, but he's going to get swallowed up by the rest of the pack.
Looked like it was both the 45 and the 14 got sideways there through 3 and 4, but Sawicki didn't have it bother him nearly as much, as now Jalen Battle looks to the inside of the 14. Another wiggle out of Sawicki, as Hagman right there looking to make it 3 wide going into turn 3. He will just barely not be able to do it, as Alex Arildsson and Tristan Bailey go side by side. Arildsson clears him again.
Momentum on Bailey's side. He looks up to the top. Arildsson going to try to block him off. Here comes the 43 of Jalen Battle back down to the inside of Sawicki, though. He is not giving this up without a fight.
Cody McCorkle, or we saw him upside down a couple of laps ago, up in the air. Yeah. Skyward, upside down, back in the top 10. What a run, what a recovery from car number 19. And an even split, by the way, in the top 10. 5 playoff drivers in, 5 playoff drivers out.
Now let's look up to second place. I believe Tristan Bailey's got the outside up off of turn number 2. He's going to get it. Maybe a little bit of rubbing there coming up off at the corner. But Tristan Bailey moves himself back into second place over Alex Arildsson. He's going to try to fight back. The 8 car is down on the bottom side in turns 3 and 4, but not going to be enough. Put Tristan Bailey back into second place, just over half a second behind Jackson Carr.
Trying now to hunt down Jackson Carr is the 99. Joshua Grosso here. Battle for the 6th spot. Hagman, Grosso, and McCorkle. As, boy, McCorkle trying to take that momentum, almost looked to the middle there. Did car number 19 with his teammate of Grosso. Another teammate, another championship hopeful, Brian Chu, right there as well.
Yeah, Hagman's car is not handling well right now. He came in with everybody else on lap 81, but that car is falling back like a rock. It's falling back in a hurry, and that's not what that number 5 Hendrick Car's team wants to see.
Allows a Hendrick teammate, the 24 of Danny Solo through. Solo now becomes the highest running Hendrick car in this race.
9th place.
Joshua Grosso.
Hendrick to be up in the top 5, but we've got a battle here. Cody McCorkle down to the inside of Joshua Grosso. Turns 1 and 2 seems to be a prominent outside lane type of corner. McCorkle sends it down, comes up the racetrack. He's going to almost clear that 40 or 54. I thought he was going to be able to do it. It's going to be easier in turns 3 and 4 with the wider exit. But Cody McCorkle up in front of Joshua Grosso now. That's for 7th place, or 6th place rather, for Cody McCorkle. Put Grosso back to 7th.
Great job there from McCorkle to get that spot. A little bit further back, Jeff Weimer still on the recovery drive, car number 2. He's been involved in a couple of accidents here tonight in that Cascadia number 2 machine. Freightliner Cascadia. Yep.
45 of Hernandez looking down to his inside. We've seen Hernandez up at the front for most of this race, but a big slide after that restart sent him back and swallowed up by the pack. It's going to be a tough recovery now as he looks down to the inside of Weimer in turns 1 and 2. And Hagman goes way up the racetrack. Weimer a little bit loose there, has to recover. That's going to put Hernandez in front of him. And Hagman still struggling to work that outside lane right now.
Playoff drivers a little bit further back. There's Rhea Ferris running in the 20th position. Rhea, again, as we mentioned towards the beginning of the show, dealing with the flu right now. Driving the guts out of that car right now. Still on the lead lap, running in the 20th position. Chris Van Maastricht sitting behind her in the 21st position in the 38. Big move there from Michael Iskandar trying to get around the 22. That would be purely for track position.
Here comes Van Maastricht making the pass on Rhea Ferris. We move up to Charles Robertson.
Charles Robertson, as we had mentioned, took a drive-through penalty at the start of this race, put himself 4 laps down. He is still 3 off of the race, off of the lead lap, and unfortunately he will not be the one getting the free passes as
third is heating up.
It was Casey Tomlinson and Daniel Holmer are ahead of him in laps.
Here comes Sawicki up to the top side of Arildsson as Jalen Battle is up in 3rd place trying to keep this pack of cars behind him. We saw Cody McCorkle make an excellent move on a teammate earlier on. Now he's up here in the thick of things with that teammate, Joshua Grosso, right behind him.
Arildsson down on the bottom trying to make that work. They've fallen off quite a bit. Ever since Tristan Bailey got around Alex Arildsson, they have lost about 2.5 seconds to the back of Tristan Bailey. You saw them off in the distance, about to fight for the race lead, but this group has certainly lost some time.
They're racing each other, and they're racing each other hard right now. They're not giving an inch. Jalen Battle might not be the best car to lead this pack, but these guys are never going to figure it out if they keep running side by side and 3 wide like they are right now, burning up their rubber, using up all their stuff. This could be the longest run, and I think it already is the longest run that we've seen throughout the course of this day. This is where tires are really going to start to matter. So if you're a guy like even Tristan Bailey right now, we've seen how hard he's gone on these restarts. This is where you're going to start to worry about, if we don't see another caution, how much stuff have I used?
And how, if you were watching this race about 30 or 40 laps ago and you saw Cody McCorkle take flight, I bet you wouldn't have thought at the century mark of this race, you would have heard me say Cody McCorkle is the highest running of the playoff drivers, but he certainly is right now, as Dominik Sawicki running right up against that wall, trying to get the run on McCorkle, but McCorkle will make the pass. He will make it stick. McCorkle up to 4th highest running of the Championship 12.
Now, where is Cody McCorkle from?
Cody McCorkle, very good question. Stanley, North Carolina.
Stanley, North Carolina. Stanley, North Carolina. Cody McCorkle. He can't get too high due to federal regulations, but
it's getting high enough on the racetrack right now.
He got high enough on the racetrack. He got high enough in the catch fence. He's kids don't do drugs. That was a bad joke, but hey, we've got ourselves a side-by-side battle. Sawicki down to the inside.
Top 4 are non-playoff drivers. The bottom 6 in the top 10 are, as Cody McCorkle trying to do what he can still in heavy combat with Dominik Sawicki. Alexander Arildsson now looking around the outside of the 14.
McCorkle has been loyal to that outside. The first time he switched from it was when somebody else got to the outside of the 14. He wants to see them side by side, and now he's going to jump back down to the middle to try to give the 14 a little bit of draft, because he wants to keep them side by side. Didn't work out for him. Now Alex Arildsson gets up into position, single file here. His teammate just behind him, just behind Sawicki rather, in the 3, Linus Broström. Arildsson trying to take over the highest playoff spot in the race and then continue to move forward and lock himself into the next round.
All of the drivers you're seeing on screen right now, except for the 14, are playoff drivers. Playoff drivers currently occupy 4th, 5th, and then 7th all the way down to 12th. So it's quite a run right now that these playoff drivers are putting on. As Joshua Grosso looking to the inside of Linus Broström, boy, that's a name combination that we are quite used to shouting out after last week.
We're 3 wide coming up off of turn number 2. Just barely. Grosso is right up on the rear bumper of the 3 of Broström. Then the 14 up top just doing what he can. Sawicki trying as much as he can not to change anything. One thing that I want to bring up, though, is that the gap between first and second has stabilized. It's right around half a second, as it has been since Tristan Bailey took over that second place. He got up to within 0.3 of a second. He's starting to fall back a little bit. Could that be the end of Tristan Bailey's tires? We'll find out soon as this battle continues on between Sawicki, Grosso, and Broström.
Bailey had gotten as close as about a quarter of a second to Jackson Carr and then fell back by as much as 3/4 of a second. And now, as you mentioned, it's stabilized right around a half a second as Broström now looking to the inside of Dominik Sawicki. Top 3 have broken away from this group that we're watching battle now. There's Jackson Carr and Tristan Bailey, your top 2. Then it's 2 seconds to Jalen Battle, who's gotten a second ahead of the fight that we've been watching here over the last half a dozen laps or so.
Sawicki and Broström trading back and forth. Broström this time has the nose up front, slides up the racetrack, but doesn't use up all of it. 14 car was there. Grosso trying to take advantage of that. He's up to the outside of Broström now, and we're looking at 3 wide once again, as that 14 car has been committed to the outside wall like he's married to it.
Edward Carapato coming in car number 16, giving up a top 15 position. There's Casey Tomlinson being put yet another lap down, so he is now 2 down in that number 7 for Spire Racing, as Arildsson starting to run away. Jalen Battle comes down pit road, as does Brian Chu. So a couple of top 10 drivers coming down pit road with 25 laps to go. This battle's still just as tense as it was a moment ago. McCorkle
Cody
coming.
McCorkle.
Oh, no, he's not.
No, he missed it.
Good
Way
news for,
too hot on entry there, and he's going to lose a ton of time because of that.
good news for Cody McCorkle is he didn't slow down all that much. He realized it quite early that he wasn't going to make it and kept the pace rather high, so he's not going to lose as much time as he certainly could have. Only lost a couple of spots and maybe 2 or 3 seconds on the track, as now Jackson Carr, the race leader, comes down pit road. Rhea Ferris comes down. Alexander Arildsson, Grosso, Weimer, all coming down pit road. Cody McCorkle, this time he will make it.
This could be the money stop if we stay green. This is the one. Tristan Bailey staying out. We'll see how that works out for him. How long is he going to try to stay out here? Is it just a quick overcut action, or is he going to try to maybe hope for a caution later on? Yep, here he comes.
Immediate response from Tristan Bailey, as you would have imagined. Dominik Sawicki coming down pit road in the number 14. Linus Broström will stay out to lead a lap. That'll be an extra bonus point for him for leading a lap. Daniel Solo behind him in the 24. Jared McCauley, Chris Van Maastricht, Brian Treadwell, Michael Iskandar, and Bob Wyckoff The only two drivers that have not come down pit road, and Alexander Arildsson right now, as it sits, has won the race off of pit road, and he will be your race leader once this cycles out. Linus Broström in the 3 down pit road.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it for you as Arildsson is able to get up in front. Not sure if Tristan Bailey is going to be able to hold it on. He's coming up off of the corner now. Here comes Ferris and Arildsson at speed. Here comes the 8 car down to the inside, but not going to be quite enough to catch up to the 99.
Wow, Tristan Bailey's going to have quite an advantage. 2.5 seconds. Jackson Carr.
So he's got to be frustrated right now.
I'm sure he is. 3 wide. Ooh, almost getting into the door of Jalen Battle. Here's Linus Broström coming out of pit road.
Battle tries to continue to fight him.
For effective third. Daniel Solo still out front. Ooh, contact
there between Battle and Jackson Carr. Everybody able to continue on as the sun is setting. You can see the reflection on the left side of the cars here down the back straightaway.
Oh, caution's out.
Woo. This changes everything, doesn't it, Frank?
Certainly does, as Brian Chu goes around in car number 11.
Second time today we've seen this playoff driver have trouble. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot of damage, maybe a little bit to the left front. Take a look-see here. Gets loose and contact with Rhea Ferris there.
I think just missed her. Locks it down. That's a nice little hit to the wall, but as I've been saying quite a bit here in these races, could have been worse.
Could have been much worse. Should be able to get that. It didn't seem to be too hard of an impact to the outside wall. Should be able to get that bumped out and maybe not hurt the RPMs too much.
So this will be advantage Daniel Solo. Solo, McCauley, Van Maastricht, Treadwell, and Sawicki. Or pardon me, and Treadwell had not pit prior to that caution coming out, so these 4 will be the race leaders as everyone else will take a wave around. Dominik Sawicki took 2 tires on that pit stop he made back on lap 111. So he will be the race leader as he did not go a lap down. Everybody else, though, Tristan Bailey's going to get the free pass. But a good majority of this field is going to have to take a wave around. I believe all of them are going to have to take a wave around. Some of them, Daniel Holmer appears to be the one, is going to get stuck an extra lap down because of the 14's pit strategy.
And of course, not being able to make a pit stop here, if you take the wave around, that's a huge factor to consider. You're going to take this wave around, you're going to get back on a lead lap, but you're not able to make a pit stop. You're not able to come around and get those fresh tires. So you're going to be at a disadvantage compared to all these guys up front. You might need another caution to try to make yourself, give yourself a chance.
Now, the disadvantage shouldn't be all that great. It's only a handful of laps. But still, those handful of laps could very well mean the difference between being able to hang on and not. As nobody took the bait who just came in, so Alexander Arildsson will be the first of the drivers to take the wave around. So it'll be Sawicki, Solo, Van Maastricht, McCauley, Treadwell, and Bailey. That will be your top 5, or top 6, I should say, here on this restart. And again, Bailey, because he was the first car not on the lead lap, got the free pass, got the lucky dog, so he did not need to wait for the wave around. He did not come
No,
into pit either. Did the 99?
But as the lucky dog, you're going to have to start behind the lap card.
Yes.
So that's going to be a tough thing for that 99. And like I've said, we haven't seen him too afraid to use his front bumper when somebody cuts him off or when he feels it necessary. It's going to be interesting to see as he races through these lap cars that he knows he's quicker than. How aggressive does he get getting towards the end of this thing?
He'll be behind the lap cars. He won't be behind the wave around cars, as those guys will be able to.
They'll be right behind him, so they'll try to race for position.
Yeah, those wave around cars will be just behind him, so it's not like he's going to the back end of the longest line. So he will start with the 9 and the 16 and the 7 ahead of him before he gets to drivers he's racing for position.
It's going to be a tough battle for him. He's going to want a caution.
So this
doubled up. Sorry. Doubled up down the back straightaway. Dominik Sawicki leads over Danny Solo, Chris Van Mastrick, Jerry McCauley, and Brian Treadwell. Drivers we haven't seen up front a whole heck of a lot outside of the 14. Then there's Tristan Bailey in 6th. Plenty of time behind these drivers. Actually, only a couple of cars. He's only got a row and a half separating him. This car's getting ready to make that hard left turn, Frank.
Different complexion this race has taken. Green flag coming back out. 15 laps to go. Here from Chicagoland, a great start by Dominik Sawicki on 2 tires.
Only 2 cars on the outside for that restart. That just goes to show how jumbled up things can get when you've got a green flag, pit stop caution type situation here.
Look
so
at
we've
the
got
mess.
3 wide through the middle goes Tristan Bailey. Where is he going to go with the Kroger mac and cheese car right up in front of him? He's going to go topside and try to follow Mastrick. Not going to be able to work too well for him, though, as Jackson Carr down on the inside, still side by side with him for position. Tristan Bailey gets out front of him, though. He's only got Van Mastrick to, well, no, he's actually up in the top 5, racing Van Mastrick for position. Gets it done.
Yeah, that wasn't Bailey trying to make a pass through the middle of 3 wide. That was him trying to just survive. As Bailey now up into 4th, Carr to 5th. He had a great restart.
Side by side for 2nd as McCauley and Solo are going at it. Tristan Bailey got to figure out which line is best so he can make a beeline for the race lead. He's deciding the middle is the best. Not quite. He goes up back to the outside. Now he's going to cut down to the middle. He thought about it. Oh, contact between him and McCauley.
Didn't realize how much little room he had. McCauley was quite quick in the early stages of this race, but now these guys are battling 3 wide now side by side between Bailey and Solo. Meanwhile, Dominik Sawicki's a 2.5 clear.
Sawicki is loving this as long as Tristan Bailey side by side with somebody. Isn't anymore, though. 2nd place for Tristan Bailey. 1.2 seconds separates him from a race win that he feels he deserves.
Jackson Carr is going to make it difficult for him, though.
Solo got big loose there in the center of the corner. He's going to lose a ton of momentum here. Watch for McCauley to move to his outside. Van Mastrick all up on the bumper of Solo.
Chris Van Mastrick has been the 2nd to last playoff driver all race long here tonight. He is now the 2nd playoff driver running in the field here tonight. What a difference a well-timed caution can make, as now Alexander Arildsson and Linus Broström try to work their way around the outside. Now 3 wide.
The 8 car and the 3 both got loose coming through turns 3 and 4. That's going to give a slight advantage to Van Mastrick. He doesn't quite have the speed right now, but I tell you what, these guys keep making mistakes around you. He slides up. The RCR car's almost making contact. Arildsson has to let off to keep it out of the wall. That's going to give Van Maastricht the chance to get right up back to the top in Arcus corner as much as he wants. Grosso down to the inside, though. Man, he just said, all three of you guys can keep doing what you're doing. I just want in front.
Van Maastricht is battling for playoff points, playoff position. He is on fresh tires as well. So he's got the pace, he's got the tires to keep with this group up to the front.
If he's got tires, it's go time.
Sawicki's run up at front might be short-lived from here. What was a 1.3 second gap has now come down to a second. He has 8 laps to defend from Tristan Bailey and Jackson Carr.
Tristan Bailey has been the quickest car these last couple of times around. 2 tires might not have been the call, but Bailey has got to be using up a lot of stuff as he gets right up next to the wall coming up off of turn number 2. Jackson Carr in third place, closing down just a little bit on this battle. Is he going to have enough to come at Tristan Bailey if he gets around that 14 car, which looks to be imminent?
Bailey looked like he pushed up a little bit coming out of turn 4, lost some of that speed and momentum in the 99. And how about it, by the way? A combined 6 starts in iSNF for the 2 drivers running in first and second. This is Sawicki's second. This is Bailey's fourth. What a show that these two are putting on here in the early stages of their iSNF careers. 6 laps to go as Sawicki tries to hold on. Bailey caught the wall big time coming out of turn 4.
He remains up on the top side, trying to keep as much momentum as he can as the 14 jumps down to the apron. But as they go into the corner, 2 completely different lines. The 14 up top here trying to hold on. He's going to scrape the wall a little bit as Dominik Sawicki has Tristan Bailey all up on his rear bumper. Looking down to the inside now for the race lead.
Bailey looking to the bottom here coming through turn 4. Remember, Bailey has felt more comfortable on the outside line, though, as has Sawicki. Bailey beats him to the line just barely, not quite clear. Is the 99. Sawicki's going to try to pinch him down. Jackson Carr laying in wait. Contact between the two. Sawicki stays out of the wall. They're dead even down the back straightaway. Sawicki starting to nose ahead. Here comes Bailey back again on the inside.
Sawicki missed a chance. He gets wicked loose there through 3 and 4. He missed the chance to get down to the center and try to side draft him some more. And now he's under fire from the 13 Jackson Carr. Carr, I believe, might be quicker than these two, and now he moves into the outside lane trying to get second place away from the 14 of Sawicki. Sawicki slides up the racetrack, gets second away. Trying for a crossover, though, is Jackson Carr. Is he going to look down to the bottom, or is he going to draft with him? He looks down to the bottom. He moves down to the bottom. He's going to hold that white line, and can he get clear on the bottom? Not quite coming up off of turn 4, but the 14 touches the wall.
Yeah, Sawicki catching the wall out of 4. By the way, mentioned Jared McCauley. He was quick at the start, the opening stages of this race. He's still right up here, running in 4th. The top 4 drivers, non-playoff contenders, as Sawicki fights back on Carr.
Sawicki fighting back on Carr is going to effectively seal this for Tristan Bailey. He moves forward with the pressure tires. 2 tires on the 14, 4 tires on the 13. Ooh. Neither one of them can figure out who's going to get second place. There's a hefty contact once again there from the 14 this time into the outside wall. We've got 2 laps to go. Here comes Jackson Carr to the inside for second.
He's bouncing off the wall, though. He's not rubbing it. He's bouncing off of it as Sawicki just able to maintain his car on that inside line. Can't get the run.
Eyes it down to the inside once again. 3 and 4 is better for the inside lane than 1 and 2 has been, but nothing doing this time. He gets to about the door. The outside momentum takes it away for the 14. Actually, they're still side by side now as the inside lane is working for the 13. But Tristan Bailey is continuing to gap himself here on the white flag.
This has allowed Jared McCauley to start looking at a podium position as Tristan Bailey comes through 3 and 4. He will go 2 for 4 here in the iSNF Cup Series. Tristan Bailey wins here at Chicagoland. Dominik Sawicki holds on for second. Jackson Carr third. Jared McCauley fourth. First playoff driver to finish, Daniel Solo in 5th.
Oh, big time spoiler for the non-playoff drivers. Tristan Bailey, you said 2 for 4. Dominik Sawicki, Jackson Carr, and Jared McCauley all out here with super strong runs, especially here at the end of this race, getting the top 4 finish. Incredible drive for them. Our top playoff driver was Danny Solo in 5th place. This ain't the NASCAR Cup Series, man. Everybody wants to win every week.
And with that, by the way, no playoff driver locked into the round of 8 this week. What a battle, what a fight for Tristan Bailey. And Liam, you are with our race winner.
What's up?
Tristan, it's Frank and Liam up in the booth. You got a copy.
Yeah, man, what's up?
Well, you had yourself a dominant effort. You led throughout the early portions of this race. But then you got back in traffic. Walk us through getting back there and working your way back up to the field for the first time.
Man, I've never experienced dirty air that bad in my life. Like, it is pretty bad. Like, when I got to the 13, I just couldn't pass them. The car just would not let me pass. They just kept pushing them away, or the car the nose would lose on it for some reason. But it was fun coming to the field, kind of to be not careful, but I mean, you had to watch out because a lot of people would get loose here and there. And I barely bumped the 22, and that's what caused that one wreck out of 2, because the guy behind me was really close and he kind of bumped me. That was my fault on that one. Sorry to the 22. And then, yeah, I don't know. That was crazy. I thought I was screwed when that caution came out.
Yeah, we saw you in a couple situations. You definitely weren't shy to use your front bumper. I believe Alex Arildsson may have cleared himself off of you, and there was a little bump for that. But there was also an incident where you got down on the apron in turns, or going into turns 1 and 2, going 5 wide down on the bottom, and it just got loose on you and stayed loose through turns 1 and 2. Ended up getting caught up in the crash, and walk us through that and your recovery from that.
Yeah, but I hit the wrong button. iRacing. Yeah, I got loose. I didn't expect it. That was the first time I got loose, and I was like, oh crap, I gotta save it. I saved it. Went into turn 1, and I went to get back in the gas, and it started sliding again. I lifted, and the 42 barely bumped me, and I lifted to get back straight again, and it just sent me around. Nothing wrong on the 42's part, but yeah, that was a little loose. One is not expecting that at all. I'm being completely honest with you there.
As we got towards the end, you had an excellent battle there with Dominik Sawicki, chasing him down, getting past him. What did it take to get past him and keep those guys behind you?
Thankfully, he was not running the bottom, because if he would have ran the bottom and got his car in front of mine, I would not have been able to get by him. Because, like I said, the dirty air was just so bad, it was just turning the car upwards, or you just were completely tight. So, like I said, I got lucky, honestly. He was trying to run the high line, which was the fastest line in practice, which it's kind of crazy. It got moved down to the bottom. But I guess once the tires wore, it's better to run the bottom.
Well, super fast car, super fast day. You end up in victory lane. Who do you want to shout out and thank for such a strong run here today?
Well, just everybody that runs it, y'all for broadcasting, of course, so I can go back and watch it. Because I go back and watch it most of the time. And then just admins.
Well, awesome stuff, Tristan. Congratulations on the race victory here. You and 3 other guys played spoiler for these playoff guys. Congrats on that.
Thank you. Thank you, man.
So that was your race winner, Tristan Bailey. Will now go to our second place finisher, Dominik Sawicki. Dominik, you got us?
Hey, guys.
Boy, those 2 tires looked quite good, and that gap you had built before the 99 and the 13 started to come back at you. Looked like it was going to hold, but boy, just couldn't keep it ahead of the 99 today.
Yeah, I couldn't keep it. Yeah, it was. actually, I expected to be caution free to the till the end, but I think 20 laps before end we got caution, so I took 2 tires obviously, and it was the right call then when in terms of racing, close racing cars at the end. So tires were working pretty good for a few laps. I was running the top, and maybe I didn't transition in time to go lower, and yeah, basically just lost about 1 second, over 1 second gap, and lost the race. That was really fun. It was nice to see, different strategies playing out, and it was nice to mix it at the end.
When that caution came out, knowing that there was only a handful of other drivers that were on the lead lap with you, did you think about coming down pit road, or did you kind of say, all right, I took the 4 tires, I took the 2 tires, I'm kind of stuck with this now?
Yeah, I wanted to start basically first. That was my idea, because when I come to pit road, take 4, then I will start like 8th, 7th, and at the end, on the less late restarts, like anything can go wrong, especially in the middle of the pack. So you want to be up in front. And to be honest, I was expecting more fall-off in the beginning, but the tires were working pretty good. So first I thought it's a right idea to stay out, and then obviously with the run, lost a bit of time. But I think it was still a better idea than to come for fresh 4 tires.
Well, we go to Atlanta next week. Your first 2 races here in the series. You finished second at Iowa third at Iowa last week. You finished second here. Think you can get that one more position that you need next week at Atlanta?
Yeah, this will be really tricky. I'm not good super speedway racer. Usually I don't finish these races pretty high, so we'll see. But Chicagoland also, I didn't expect to be so good for me, because I ran it for the first time, because I started racing ovals and stock cars after it fell off from the official NASCAR schedule, but it was surprisingly really good, and yeah, I really enjoyed that one. So we'll see about the Atlanta. It's very unusual super speedway, but yeah, I'm not expecting to run as good as here or Iowa.
All right. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to SHR Racing. Here number 10, Jared finished top 5. Really good job for him as well. And yeah, shout out to you guys for broadcasting. Also, iSNF for hosting this event.
All right, your second place finisher here tonight, Dominik Sawicki. Bud, congratulations.
Thanks. See you in Atlanta.
And with that, we'll move to our third place finisher. Liam is with Jackson Carr.
Jackson, it's Liam and Frank in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I hear you.
Well, you had yourself a phenomenal race. You led a lot of laps. What more would it have taken to keep those guys behind you towards the end of this thing?
Not missing my stall and then stalling. That would have helped a lot to be in front of them before that caution came out. So after a couple laps, you just really couldn't pass. So, P3 is all right. I think a podium is deserved. I think probably could have won. It's hard to say. It was either me or the 99, and I'm disappointed in myself. I've never really missed my box before.
Well, you had a strong recovery, and you had a super phenomenal battle with the 14 machine at the end of this thing. What was that like, racing him side by side, trading a position back and forth for the second spot?
It was very annoying. I was in the 99's 30 air, and he was up there pinching me, which I would have done the same thing, but just no exit and couldn't get it to turn. So I knew from earlier in the race that he was going to be hard to pass. I was side by side with him in the first stage coming to I think lap 40, and it just wasn't really working. So I mean, it was a good race. I think this race would have been a lot better if it went green more. I don't like the whole package where it's just a super speedway, but you just lift. Uh, this track is a lot more, our intermediates in general are just a lot more fun when everybody's all spread apart. So, I mean, I'll take it. We had a green flag run at the end. I'm glad there was a yellow because I lost 5 spots during the pitting because I messed up so bad. So, I mean, it was a good race. 99, probably deserved it. He was right behind me, couldn't pass me. He was in kind of the bubble where in the corners I'd pull because of dirty air, and then in the straights he'd get my draft. So we were really even. I would be curious to see what we could do if we were side by side at the end, but just didn't happen this week.
Well, you still had a strong run. You finished 3rd place, got up on the podium. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to for such a strong run?
Yeah, I'll say everybody who was in the RCR chat keeping me entertained that whole race. Everybody at PBR, Burnt Rubber Racing, they're always nice. My dad get me this Moza wheel, so trying to clean it up.
Stuff, man. We appreciate you, and congratulations once again on your 3rd place finish.
Yep, thank you.
So that will more or less do it for us here tonight. And Liam, we saw a choppy race, to say the very least, at the start. Only had a couple of cautions in the first stage, a caution-filled second stage. But after that, only one late race caution in the 3rd stage and pretty much a clean run to the finish.
Yeah, and I mean, it goes to show the aggression level of the drivers in this league. Everybody wants to get as much as they can as soon as they can get it. And at a track like Chicagoland, where you've got so many opportunities, it gets easy to get yourself into a bad spot. And we saw that a couple of times here today, but a driver who didn't get himself in too many bad spots was Tristan Bailey. We saw him caught up in crashes. We saw him maybe not liking so many guys cutting him off. But in the end, he was the quickest car. He got around, got the race win.
Certainly was, and certainly did. We go to Atlanta next week, and again, that's a big discussion. A big discussion point for next week is that none of the 12 drivers in the championship were able to come out of this race with a win. So everyone is still going to be fighting for every single position that they can get at a track where, with the style of racing that we've seen at Atlanta over the recent years, since the reconfiguration and the repave, positions are going to be hard to come by.
Yeah, it's going to be super tough. It's mostly going to be double file. We might see a 3rd lane try to form up, but that is going to be super tough with how tight that track's going to be. We're in for a good show next week, but passing is going to be super tough, like you mentioned.
Absolutely. And with that, we'll take a look here at the finishing results here for tonight's race. Tristan Bailey comes away with his 2nd win in just his 4th start here in the iSNF Cup Series. Dominik Sawicki, 2 for 2 on podiums here in this series. Jackson Carr stepping away with the podium tonight. Very disappointed Jackson Carr, as you heard. Jared McCauley and Daniel Solo, the first of the playoff drivers here tonight, coming home in 5th. Linus Broström, Alex Arildsson, Joshua Grosso, Jalen Battle, Cody McCorkle, your top 10. Angel Hernandez, Jeff Weimer, Marcus Hagman, Nathan Christensen, Brian Chu, Bob Wyckoff, Chris Van Maastricht, Michael Iskandar, Brian Treadwell, and Eduardo Carapato rounding out the top 20. Shane Griffin, Rhea Ferris, Daniel Holmer, Casey Tomlinson, Franz Bretschneider, Charles Robertson, Kio Gomez, pardon me for butchering that name all night, James Vining, Joey Burgee, Chris Smith, Rosa Laszlo, William Britton, Gary May, Emily Figrell, rounding out your field here tonight. So that will do it for us. Enjoy your Thanksgiving week. For my broadcast partner, Liam Irving, I am Frank Marchese. We will see you Saturday from Hampton, Georgia, and the Atlanta Motor Speedway. But until then, remember, as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night.